As you have said, you have dedicated a lot of your life coming back home to try and do something.
At great cost, I must say.
Great cost?
At great personal cost, yes.
Tell me about that.
Will you accept to leave a $10,000 a month salary, which is a publicly available information for those who are interested at the time at African Development Bank, to come to take $500 a month, which was the salary of a minister? That's you. I'm asking you because you are talking to me.
Are we talking about 1997?
That is what I did. And I'm talking about financial loss, the opportunities that I've lost because of my passion and my dedication to my country and to my continent. Right. So I'm not just talking for the sake of talking. I've proven it several times. When President Mahama told me to leave my job at African Development Bank again to come and serve as a minister, I had an idea of what ministers' salaries were because I'd already endured that, almost 15 years ago as a minister. 5% of what I earned is what I came to earn. And I didn't make it up by stealing and misbehaving.
Has it been worth it?
So, African Development Bank has earning $18,000. Then, I came to accept $2,000. So, if you, as a newscaster and Ghanaians sitting, listening and appreciating me for who I am and what I've done for my country, then they can reach the appropriate conclusions. But is it worth it? No. My views are helping your country. I mean, I think it's a Latin phrase was Dulce decorum est, pro patria mori. That is a Latin statement. That it is I don't want to translate it inaccurately, but it is sweet and patriotic to die for one's country. That was what a particular writer wrote in Latin some years ago. But because I said my family has been a family of public servants, we go along to just serve the public. We don't lord it over them. We are very humble people, even though not everybody understands it. Some people think because you're tall and big, you're not humble. But the humility comes from inside and how you treat other people, how you work with them.
So since 2006, you said, you've been trying to...
Well, I was a candidate for the NDC flag bearership in 2006. It's a fact.
Right.
And I was also a candidate in 2020. Well, at least in the primaries, which I think ended in 2019.
I see.
Why
do you think you've never quite got there?
Oh, it's a lot of self-analysis. Obviously, I haven't lived throughout in the country as some people have done. So the fact that I've also had an international career, I'm only one of maybe 2 or 3 Ghanaians that have had the opportunity to work with 4 international organizations. So I've worked with the African Development Bank, as I said, it took some time. I've worked with the African Development Bank, it took some time. Anytime you're doing those things for the world, the global community, or even for Africa, you can't be in Ghana to be gaining the mileage of people knowing you and you're rubbing shoulders with others and setting up companies and whatever it takes to become better known. So that obviously would have been a detriment in a certain sense. And of course, as I'm also proving to you, even when I've had to come back, it's always at a financial loss, not to the state, but to myself. So that also then deprives me of different things that I could do. But the reasons that I've not won any of the flag bearership races are many. There have also been better candidates, and the timing has not always been good. I mean, if you watch President Biden, he's 80 years old, and he could have been president maybe 20 years ago. But the right time comes for everybody, and the right time for God is always the best. So maybe it's not my time yet.
In 2018,
yes,
you said you had not endorsed any candidate, including John Mahama.
Correct.
It's something you
at that time, I don't even decided to run.
Indeed, it's something you had reiterated in 2022. Okay. But in 2023, like you're saying, you seem to have endorsed Mahama. What has changed over the period?
A number of things again. Well, I worked with President Mahama when I was Minister of Communications. He was Deputy Minister. So we worked very closely together. So we have a good working relationship. We are still friends to today. We never had a squabble that I can remember in those days. And we became jointly cabinet ministers. I was in charge of education, he was in charge of communication. In the party hierarchy as well, I was the first to go into the party hierarchy after we lost 2000 elections and became what today we call Director of Communications or national press officer, the work that Sami Jamfi does, which I think all of your audience know about. I did that for 2 years. And then President Mahama took over from me in the National Democratic Congress inside the party. So we both have inside the party experience. And as I've just said, after we lost the election and we then won it in 2009, 2008, and President Mills became president, I wasn't given an appointment immediately or even at all in the NDC government. But President Mahama reached out to me while I was at the African Development Bank to work with him. So he actually declared, or his family declared in 2017, that President Mahama will not be a candidate for the 2020 election. And that is when some friends of mine began to get agitated and to contact me and to find out, well, if President Mahama is not going, we have to have a candidate. You tried to be a candidate in 2006, so why don't you start lacing your boots to come back? So that's what we did. Started listening our boots, talking to people and organizing and getting ready. And then he decided to become a candidate. And so it was a little difficult because at that time we had kind of invested too much time and energy in it, and my team just didn't want to withdraw.
Did you feel betrayed at that point?
Oh, no. He has a right, like anybody else, to present himself. Why? No betrayal, no sense of betrayal at all. He had a right to present himself. And then other candidates also had...
But you must have been disappointed that, after all
he has to examine his life and his potential. He has experience that I don't have. He has been president before. He has told some people, even when he was president, some of them having been president before. That was Akufo-Addo at that time. And so he didn't think Akufo-Addo should make certain statements that he was making when he had never been president. So that statement is valid. If you have never been something before, those who have had that opportunity have a higher level of experience than you do. So I respect that at all times, President Mahama will have a higher level of experience than I have had in governance of Ghana. But he may not have had experience working in an international organization, for example. He may not have had experience being a chief of staff of a church, which I've had, or a president of a university, which I've had. So different experiences, and you have to respect everybody's
So last year you changed your mind.
As far as what? No, I didn't change my mind.
Well, not change your mind, but
I've always been an NDC member.
I understand.
It's only a matter of who NDC will choose to be a flag bearer. You can be a candidate and you lose. I was not the one who lost that election. All of us, six or seven of us, Bagbin was a candidate, he lost. Joshua Arabi was a candidate, he didn't make it. Simon was a candidate. So we all lost together to him. And we accepted that. And we campaigned for him.
And you campaigned for him.
And we do that.
Right. So let's assess the candidates of 2024, John Dramani Mahama.
Very good.
I mean, what kind of a candidate are we presenting now? Does he have what it takes to win the 2024 election? Let's not forget that in 2020, I mean, he lost the election despite
2020, he lost the election, and even though all the evidence as such is not out, and even though we went to court on that matter, many of us are aware, and even MPP guys keep talking about it sometimes, in nuances, that they did certain things to make us lose. Okay, I was not in the so-called strong room. Those who went and drank tea and didn't get biscuits and all that came in the Supreme Court to tell us what happened. But it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm saying there are many reasons. I've identified 20 reasons when NDC has lost in 2000. So 2020 election, if somebody were to analyze it, there'll be 15, 17 reasons we may have lost. Kuzibuchi actually had a committee that went through why we lost the 2016 election. They wrote a fine report. Some of us believe that the fact that that report has never been properly shared in a certain way without disclosing people's identity and without making people uncomfortable is part of why we haven't learned from our mistakes. Because any examination you go to, if your teacher tells you you got 10 questions, well, out of 10 questions, you only got 6 right. You are interested in the 4 you didn't get right. At least that has been my attitude in a classroom. And I focus on the 4 that I didn't get right and make sure I get them right. And I'm not sure NDC has learned sufficiently from those errors that we have made in the past.